finals of our first qualifier of the WardiTV Korean Royale. Again, some prize money up for grabs today. These players are qualified as we come to a conclusion of this first qualifier with our red Terran player in the top left-hand corner, Team NV's Cure. In the bottom right, our blue Zerg is going to be Solar from Onside Gaming. Again, guys, prize money difference. This is all best of 3, the reason being just we know the players aren't super fond of best of 5 all of the time. And this is, again, the main part of this is qualifying. The prize money is an extra little bonus. Some OSC points can be earned as well. So obviously that's nice and all, but in general, the main point of the day is qualifying through and all the rest. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on, and that's why we're just playing the best of 3s here throughout. There'll be a few Wardy points as well for players that are top 8 as well. And Wardy points have been very important. I just sent out some invites for the WardiTV Winter Championship last night. And basically all the invites were based on Wardy points apart from 2. And if anyone declines, the next ones won't be based on Wardy points either. But yeah, that tournament's looking stacked as well. So really looking forward to that. Should be pretty freaking awesome. Reaper is coming across the map. Kyo solo. So Kyo takes down Dark in the qualifying match. Kyo's been on its streak today, by the way. 2-1 Ryung, 2-1 Hero, 2-0 Dark. Well, I actually have the Kyo run in replays, and I think we'll cover that to extend the stream a bit today. Even if we know the results, still very fun to see how those games went down, see what happened, right? So I think we'll be doing that once we wrap up the finals here. But yeah, just a... I mean, Kyo Solo is like the classic online TVZ that you see a lot of the time, right? You know, Kyo always playing these events, as is Solar. And both just solid players, and honestly have probably got a good history between each other of just trading back and forth, if I had to guess. I'm going to do a little bit of looking up. As I don't even want to guess. I would guess that these guys have played over 100 series against each other all the time. Let's see if I'm remotely correct there. Yeah, easily. 140 matches between Solar and Kyo in the history of StarCraft. And I said it's back and forth, 71 to 68. In favor of Solar. I mean, that's obviously extremely close. Their maps, by the way, this is even crazier. The maps they've played against each other, 214 won by Solar, 214 won by Kyo. They have dead even map win rate against each other since they played against each other for the first time 140 series ago, 9 years ago, in Pro League, where Kyo got a 1-0 victory. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, that is some history, and that is a rivalry, if you ask me. And hey, I was a fat kid. Thank you so much for the 25-month resub. Welcome back. Thanks for supporting the stream today, the channel, and just in general, the tournament that we got going on. Thank you, everyone, again, for the resubs before the break as well. It's so good to see so many people supporting. We must have broken 900 subs as well, right? With the gifted subs from earlier, so that's also incredible. Very excited about that. Hell yeah. Aliens moving on to the map and talking about some other... Yeah, just talking about some other bits and pieces, because there's not really been too much going on. Been pretty passive here for the most part, as we just see a Viking coming out, 3cc. You know, Solo's not done anything. It's not even any tech just yet. Finally making a choice of going Evo Chambers first, so quite greedy from Solar. Here on Grezfan, that could come back to bite you. We'll see if that's something which Kyo can take advantage of, the fact there'll be a much later baneline speed than usual, etc. I think it's just going to jump on top of these queens, but I mean, hard to obviously get rid of the queens, especially as the lings show up. You'll force a transfusion or so, though. I mean, hey, draining some queen energy stops that creep spread from spreading, right? You know, there's an advantage we can play with. So a few Marines will get rid of one more Zergling just on the third base, and the Hellions in the center will get rid of that creep tumor as well. Still melee upgrades on the way up, and now a few drones coming back around. All work has been picked off so far. That Liberator going to go around the right, up through the main, towards the natural. Set up over there as our 1-1 is producing. A Viking will make its way in. The Overlord already taking damage. Hellions pressing through, and a couple of creep tumors being dropped already as our Spore Crawler will begin to burrow at the front. It's going to get underneath and work its way through this Liberator, which gets pushed away to the side pretty much immediately here. So Liberator gets pushed back. And while we have just this Dance of the Liberator, thank you so much, Walgren, for the 47-month resub on Tier 3 as well. Thank you so much for the massive resub. Almost 4 years. Tier 3 too. Number 2. Thank you so much. Liberator's been so annoying. Liberator, just again, forcing this sport to relocate yet again and just keeping this annoyance level high. Just being an absolute frustration throughout the early stages of this. And we've got some Marines that are unloading, and, well, Liberator actually going to siege up to its own death this time. So finally we deal with this. Q maybe more focused on the Marines at the front as they push through and get rid of some of the creep spread. He's been great at the multitasking so far, and now he's got to push to maybe take advantage of Solar, who, well, is going to have 1-1 upgrades at least, but will not have Baneling speed, and this is where it gets tricky for Solar. Not having that Bane speed is dangerous. Let's see if the 1-1 upgrades are enough to keep him powered up and to keep him running through here. I'm going to get up a scan and just going to see that creep spread being worked away at, so knocking down a whole bunch of creep tumors already. So working our way through that straight away. Overlord still up overhead. Again, combat shields, a couple more Medivacs, Marines, all producing on the side of Cure. So all of that still coming out into play. Just seeing our Marines and our Hellions falling back a little bit up that right side as well. Medivacs ready to drop in toward the main base. In they go. Turning through Extractor is going to be a potential target. We saw Maru taking down some of the Extractors of Solar in one of those games they played earlier. A couple of Widow Mines are left to get some shots off. It's actually going to be one that needs to texture be cleaned up. Looks as though we are on our way to do that. Overseer was flying over. Yeah, that's getting cleaned up as well. Everything getting joined. Just going to be seeing our units of Solar trying to defend up the right side, but we'll also have to defend down the south again. Kira is splitting up nicely, going in some different directions here to keep things going. Marines move up a Baneling. Not going to go down just yet. Now going to move up once again. Baneling target fire, get one. Not going to get much else. Of course, using the Medivacs is just your get out of the fight for free card. And that's exactly what Kyo wants to do. Just get out for free, not actually have to commit. You can see the kind of retention of his units has been fantastic this game because he still has his Hellbats alive from earlier. He may lose some of these now. There won't be Medivac space for everything, but, you know, what a way to use them going into this fight, creating something that Solar can't comfortably push into himself, and just really using that in his favor. So again, every single unit being made the absolute most of right now. That's obviously fantastic. That's obviously really good. Gonna take a jump forward. Widow Mines will burrow up. Lings, Banes, what are we gonna do? Bang, bang. A few Marines gonna get hurt. Hydra's working their way up to that top side. More of these Marines unloading into the corner of the main base. It's gonna push straight through this. There go the Extractors. There goes the Spore Crawler. Lings, Hydra's continue through. I'm just gonna be seeing them trying to jump on top of this army. Hydra's try and jump on top of the Medivacs, and Marines are gonna go down. That Medivac will fall. I'm just gonna be seeing everything else in the upper right. Well, getting set up from here. He still has just masses of army here. About to be on 2-2. Currently, without that, means that Solar has a slight upgrade lead for a few moments. He's about to finish up his hive as well, so you can look at more tech in the near future here for Solar. Just as Q give him a chance to truly tech up, as Widow Mines again are getting good shots, waiting until the last moment to live to make sure those Widow Mines can hit as much Zerg as possible as it all clumps up. Medivacs will dive into the main base, unloading. Just try and get further damage done. Q sets to the top side at the same time, so continuing to split push on this map. Our Lings will run in for the surround. This should be a defense. The question is, how much does it cost you? Well, quite a few Zerglings, and then of course Q again gets away for free, so you make sure to not let this get too out of control. Our Bioforce on the right side now has its opportunity as a Widowmine goes for a few different Zerglings. Target firing all of the Balins. We just stand and fight. Q didn't want to leave. He wanted to take this to the bitter end, and he really did. I mean, gets rid of a lot of the Banes, fought a lot of the Lings that got us around on him. Of course, still controlling this game by just having 5 bases up at the moment. Very comfortable there. One medevac going down, a second medevac taking damage. Hero loads up to the high ground, and the Hydralisk that chases obviously does not face a nice fade. Solar going to try and claw his way toward the Lurker Den for the moment. So get that Lurker Den up and running. Get to a few Lurkers here. Once he has a few Lurkers in play, obviously that's something where Solar, we say this all the time, Solar feels the most comfortable when those Lurkers are up and running, right? Well, that definitely seems like it's going to be likely the case here. As we'll get a few Lurkers coming through. And this Bioforce on the top from Kua will make its way over to hit the top right. Curse Red's starting to go down. Well, Widowmine's again. Oh, doesn't get the shot off, man. Risky from Solo, though, because that could have been a massive Widowmine shot. Again, surrounds it in full, and he just gets the kill before it activates onto a unit. Again, we're pushing the bottom left, though, so it's just Kua constantly with this aggression, not stopping. He does lose a lot of his medevacs to the top, and for the first time, Solo takes a supply lead. He wins convincingly in the top side. He's going to send his Banelings forward to hit a mineral line, find out if he can do further damage there. Our Banelings rolling in over here, though, will not do well enough. We take down the Overseer, snipe down 2 more Hydras. The Hatchery gets killed without a cancel. Mini does matter right now because Solo does not have a ton of it. His Banelings apparently turned away, but now they are going to crash through the depots. Going to find, actually, a handful of SCVs. I was going to say maybe a couple, but he gets 8. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. Lings and Hydralisks make their way through a set of rocks, opening up the map as well to give Solo some more aggressive opportunities, more chances to move around this map, more opportunities to get damage done as things, Banelings, continue to move, continue to get set, splitting everywhere Solo because he wants to make sure that these are never kind of like full fights. He wants to try and get damage done while Kira is split up and running around a little bit silly. Potentially the chance to jump on half of an army with his full army could be nice as well if he can manipulate Kua into moving into some bad positions. Oh, Widowmine on the bottom side of your screen just took down a chunk of Banelings. Nice additional grab at the tail end of that. The Bio gets through, takes out a Zergling. Command Center just floating in the corner, something that Kua can now get landed. Again, base count has been fantastic for him throughout this game. As that Widowmine, Burrows does get killed. We've got more Widowmines waiting to go. Need to make sure none of these are too friendly fire friendly. Or friendly fire friendly, is that a thing? Not going to do too much friendly fire, I should say, as Kua is going to hold. But again, Solo's just taken supply leads recently where he was always trailing before. Now he's in much better positions. It's really kind of bouncing for that one fight about 3 minutes ago. Really just kind of reset Kua that little bit. And you can see just over the last 5 minutes, it really has been a lot more of a stable affair from Solo compared to constantly playing catch-up, constantly clawing his way back into the game. Richie Mc85, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Richie Mc852. That's a hell of a gifted sub combination with names. Thank you so much, gifting a sub to your kin, I suppose. As our Baneling's gonna go rolling up this right side. This fight breaks out. Kua does have a lot of bio that can just deal with this on the tail end. Obviously, off of creep, hard to roll those Banelings into that bio army. Going to be having a group of lurkers that had a chance to hit the top left side. Some of them back away, some of them try and preserve themselves for later. They just back it up for the moment. Snipe, snipe, and another lurker bites the dust. 10 more in production. The Lings, the Hydras, the Banelings are all producing here. Transfusion to Kill up an Overseer. I mean, honestly, it's worth it, right? If this Overseer survives an extra snipe, might actually be worthwhile as Solo comes in again. Man, so many Lings die so quickly. The tanks getting Blinding Cloud is great. Can the Ghost support the Terran Force against the Lurkers? Going to be my big question, because without the tanks stopping the Lurkers getting in position, the Ghosts now need to break through this. The bottom left base is separated from the rest of this Terran army. Well, looks like that will likely go down. The last few Lings and Hydras are actually not enough. The repair is good. The Planetary is going to hold its own until the Lurkers make their move down here. Here goes for the secret mission or secret technology against... No! Kua! He soloed himself! No! No, he just nuked himself! He did it! Against Solar! Solar's never seen a nuke work in his favor before, but he actually did it! Like, usually, I was going to say it's the secret technique against Solar to, you know, make him walk into a nuke with the entire army, but he walks into his own nuke! He doesn't cancel it, he doesn't get rid of it. And Kua loses absolutely everything to his nuke, and this game slips further out of control. Oh no, the anti-Solar happens. Has Solar been nuked so many times he's become one of the nukes, and now he controls them? My goodness, may just be. Solar is absolutely going to be commanding this game now. It was starting to turn in his favor. It's looking better and better for him, it feels like, with that nuke having gone down. Do we want to look at the army graph? Let's do it. Yes. The instant deployment. The thing is, as well, Kua was actually taking a bit of an army supply lead, clearing up a bunch of units, and that nuke actually landed. Whew. My freaking goodness. Okay, Lings are trying to run through here. Solar's maxed out. Kua is still fairly close to being maxed out. Still working on this. A few Ghosts, a few Marines are going to make their way back down to the south. Our Lurkers, our Hydras, our Lings, and our Banes continue to gather on up. Lings is going to run forwards. A couple of siege tanks that could potentially be in some trouble here as Solar looks to have a little bit too much and break through. If you can get these Banes on the Ghost, would love that. Keep that Ghost count low. But the Banes end up running through a choke point and running to their death, really. It's actually getting kind of close in terms of his Solar just overcommitting here. He may very well be. And so Lurkers on the low ground, they're very nice as we do get the snipe on 2 of the 3, cleaning those out. Otherwise, his position staying fairly stable for Solar. I mean, it does feel like Solar, he's obviously got the economy, he's putting some good damage onto Kua. It does feel like some of these fights, though, he's just been running a few too many units in, he's been losing a bit too much. Resources lost 42 to 36k, and if you don't count the nuke, I think Solar would have been in a ton of trouble, but yeah, like I say, he's harnessed the power of the nukes for his own good now. He's sacrificed himself to the nukes so many times. Now he owns them. Baby. Hellbats, siege tanks, Ghosts. All producing, I mean, a good set of units right from Kua. It's the right units that you need. Solar is still just building the Hydras and the Banes, and a few of these Lurkers doesn't have the Overseer apparently in range to hit some of those Ghosts. I feel like he should have surely been able to cancel a few of those shots. Now he loses the Overseer, so you can't hit them. Despite that, Solar remains maxed out. Lurkers burrow and a couple of extra snipes. This position is something Solar is mostly using as a distraction because now he attacks the bottom left, and Kua. A lot of those Banes do connect in the bottom left on the Bioforce. So we wipe out a bunch of siege tanks. Kua will hold, but again, it's, I think, value enough for Solar here. 9,000 resources lost difference, but Solar is also mining the top left base that's meant to be Kua's. That's a big deal, because that's a base that if Kua can never get rid of, Solar's just going to have those resources in his back pocket. Not only are they a bonus for him, it's something that then Kua can never access. So the more that Solar mines the top left, the more useful that will be in really cementing Kua into an unwinnable position in this game. Missile turret that sets up out the front. Got some potential detection going here. Maybe shoot down some Vipers, but we'll never get there. The Solar attacks in again. Does he have the, again, momentum to keep going through? The Ghost will back away. They will get out. So again, just utilizing the fact he has 30 additional workers to rebuild with, but Kua's trying to establish this new base. could be a new tale if he's able to get that base up and running properly. Snipe, snipe, snipe. Hydra's going down. A lot of the ghosts taking some shots as well. Our Bioforce will continue through, and we have on our hatchery. It's going to be held, I think. Solo's just streaming enough units in here. Now the question becomes, can we get the ghosts out? And yes, the medevacs are able to evacuate them up into the skies, and away they go. 22 minutes here on Grezvan. As the Hydralisks will punch through the command center. Well, that base will not be allowed. Like I say, that's the big issue. I think that Q is going to run out of potential mining bases sooner rather than later. Another round of snipes to at least find some value, but the supplies overall are getting further apart. We've never really seen maxed out 200 supply Solar versus 130 Cure. It's been a 150, a 160. This is very different, and it's more economy losses for Cure. It's less mining available to rebuild yet again. Completely drained his bank, but so is Solus, right? And some Liberators stopping him from mining means he might not be able to rebuild super quickly off the back of this attack right now, which makes this attack itself very important. Let's see if it's enough. The Baneling's connecting through. Parasitic Bomb on those medevacs, forcing those to split away. Solar turns around, getting some of these Hydralisks out of here. The more important, more expensive units that he knows he can't afford to replenish just yet. And you can see Q is not bouncing back in the supply count as much as he once was. Now Mule's mining away, doing what work they can. They need to do some magic right now for Cure. He needs so much money as our Bioforce settles down on another base. Just going to be seeing our Lings and our Banelings continue to produce. And ready for another attack. Soul going to come in from the upper right, going to come in from the bottom left. Just get as much of a spread as possible and limit what the siege tanks get done with their initial shots. I think this is just enough, right? This time around from Solar to just keep going. There's no stag defense here. There's no, I say stag defense, I kind of mean more like siege tanks. There's no splash damage, I should say. One of those units that kind of stop you from just running forwards, and these Hydras even just going to turn onto this base with the Ling Bane. And just help, because quite frankly, we're in that kind of a position. We're going to turn around with the Hydras on the Bioforce. It's just not enough units from Cure. This game has slipped away from him. He controlled so much of it. But Solar hangs on in, turns it around. Cure nukes his own army. And Solar wins game 1. GG. Now let's jump on in the top left. Down a map. Our red Terran player is Cure. Taking on the blue Zerg in the bottom right-hand corner, it is Solar. Map 2 of our series, and again, a prize money difference on the line. Everyone here is qualified for the first season of the WardiTV Korean Royale. But $100 for winning today, $30 for second place. You think they were playing since 12 hours ago? You can't believe Percival took down Bjorn? Well, I mean, there was like at least a solid 6 hours between tournaments today, I think, so I think if they wanted to take a bit of a break, they definitely could have done. Yeah, still sick result for Percival any which way. No doubt. Yo, RichieMC85, thanks so much for not just gifting a sub to your long-lost brother RichieMC852, but also a £5 tip. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting. As a Reaper is on its way out here. A couple of drones are producing new humanity for our map. Fun map. Interested to see what exactly each player has in store for us here. This map is obviously on the weirder side of things, and definitely means that things go a little bit different to usual. Reaper becomes journeying across the map and gets set up to cause some chaos, get some scouting, have a good time here to start out with. And so Reaper's just going to go after those few lings in the drone, Can obviously be a target as well. If the Lings ever back off too far, the drone will go down. So, something like what you can do here, obviously, is so you're not expected to lose a drone. You're expected to be able to keep that drone alive. That Reaper continues around. It's kind of funny, by the way. So when that nuke went off, obviously I made some higher pitched sounds than usual. Ellie came running in. She was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "It's okay, Ellie. Calm down." She's like, I'm not sure what just happened. Why are we shouting? What's so exciting? Is there food? Is there food? Is there unexpected food? I'm ready to eat it. No, no, Ellie. Just a nuke." She's like, "Doesn't sound that delicious." My reaction was hilarious. But I think my problem was I was halfway through making a joke about how, you know, nukes are the secret technique of defeating Solar, right? When things start to look rough, just kind of nuke him. I was like halfway through doing that, and then like he actually started to nuke himself, and I was like, wait a second, what do we even call this? And I was like, oh my god, I got really excited because I was already talking about nuking yourself, and then he actually went and nuked himself. That was that was really quite special. Banshee Hellions all on the way up here as you do play 3CC with obviously the Banshee Hellion support. Keeps you very safe throughout the early stages. 11 drones producing Ling speed coming up. A couple of Queens on the way out. And this SCV just going to come forward and build up a cheeky little depot. And the Queen's still there to push the Hellions and the Reaper around. He was dead before the nuke landed. Do you think, though? I actually don't think he is, because I think he's literally just taken a fight to turn the game around. But I think Solo was too invested in the bottom left. He was going to lose every single lurker and unit there. And the game was extremely close after that. And don't get me wrong, Solo really started to take control of the game, but even at the very end, Solo was almost out of resources as well. And Q would have, with an extra 50 supply of army, been able to control the map much more, stop Solo taking some of the bases that would have helped him to get to that position. I don't think he would have been... I don't think he would have been dead. I think he was definitely still kind of Solo's favorite, but I actually feel like the fight he was in the process of taking was the fight that potentially was the best fight Q had had in a while. You know? Anyways, what happened. He nuked himself. It's the best for the content. You know that that's going to be a YouTube thumbnail next week. Uh-oh. Solo going to eat a bunch of drone kills here. Hellions just sneak in. Get 6. Going to get a few Lings on the way out as well. Has only just now lost a couple of Hellions. Very nicely done. I think I just mentioned YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, because there's a massive self-nuke, then hello. Do you consider subscribing? If you're not watching on YouTube, type YT, exclamation mark YT in the chat. Subscribe to the YouTube. Help out one of our other forms of generating revenue. It's always appreciated. Hellions and Queens are daring to glance shots off of each other still. And a couple of Banshees to the right-hand side will pick their way through the hatchery. No Overseer, so that has to just be a cancel, unfortunately, for Solo. It already feels like he was getting a really good start in this game. He was kind of controlling the last game early as well. It was just a case of finishing it up with something he couldn't really do. Ended up going late and obviously ended up not going well for him, but he got into a great position early, and this is honestly, I think, even better. 5 workers killed here. He's cancelled off the 4th base one time already. Obviously, the Banshees are still pretty healthy as well, and the Hellions keep poking around the front. Group spread is being limited. I would say this is honestly just... I would say this is honestly getting to a point where actually Solar is on the verge of dying to the first attack of Q, right? Like, this is one of those moments where 2 minutes down the line, Stim is here, combat shields, 1-1. Boom, we go, we attack, and you just do so much damage all at once with one push that Solar just really struggles to stop. I can 100% see that happening from this point on, I think. Definitely plausible. So weird that the nuke thing stuck to Solar so much. Well, because Solar did it on the biggest stage, right? Like, Solar did it on the biggest stage in a game he was about to win as the underdog against one of the, like, the favorites of the tournament. Like, he did it in the biggest way possible. And then he did it, you know, 2 times more. So that was always the one people will remember. So Marines are going to jump into these medevacs perhaps, as the siege tank is... Oh, it didn't even need to jump the Marines in the medevacs. What a call by Q. Stands and fights to get some extra value out of it. Does lose the siege tank though. And Marines push through and get rid of a little bit of creep spread, and just going to be seeing the Marines coming around the left side. Overlord taking some damage, and this hatchery will be taking a few shots as well, so chipping our way through that. And Marines do back it up, pulling away over the right side. Tank siege, Marines still pressing down the right. Well, it's a nice little catch on these Marines, obviously. When you get surrounded like that, you got to be careful. And Q does lift up and back away. Trying to play around the siege tank position again. Obviously, really is just finding good value with these trades, and clearly believes he is, and keeps on doing it for the exact same reason of it was good the first time, it's actually still good the second time. Two medevacs to the left will be the next point of attack from Qers, so maybe work on some of the groups right over here. This has some similar vibes to the first game, where I feel like Qers playing a very strong early game into the mid game, is really quite controlling of the map, but is not necessarily in a position just to close things out or anything, right? So I feel like in that regard, we're playing a pretty similar game for the moment. I guess we'll see if it continues like this, or if Kira can actually find a way to break through with his army supply advantage. See a Spire and Infestation Pit, and just tech in general from Solar still pounding through on the production tab. Move into the main, but the Spore Crawl is pretty quick to turn them around again. Some tanks firing up a storm. Well, this is a slow zone. This is good for Q, no? This has got to be the worst fight you can take as Solar. Marines coming out with a slow zone on the other side and able to chase the Lings down. And yeah, like the slow zone I feel like hurts the Zerg way more than the Terran player. Because then all of your melee units get stopped from kind of catching up to the Marines, whereas the Marines are still able to kite away from the Banelings just as much as the Banes are able to chase down, you know? That was... yeah, an interesting commitment through the middle from Solar. Again, splitting the attack. One army on the left, more of a drop than a full army, but obviously an army on the right too. Good, paying attention to both, lifting up, getting out before he takes any real losses. And she goes down as well, so that remnant of the early game now cleaned up, no longer a factor. Lings and Banes carving them up over in that bottom right corner too, as you do just have the missile upgrade, no skill augments, Lings, all producing here. Working our way through the center, rocks will begin to go down. We'll see Q knocked those down earlier, now just going to actually take them out so you can keep on moving through. Another set of rocks will also get taken down, and we have a scan to get rid of some creep spread as well, so these tanks in the middle of the map are somewhat unkillable as long as the rocks on the right side remain up, and now it's going to be so hard for Solar to get rid of those. There's actually an insane position. Obviously, you can just support the high ground, so this forward base cannot be held onto. Just have a lot of medevacs in the bottom right corner looking for a chance to get into the main, but they're being deflected, so that's a lot of the supply from Q. Fortunately, like I say, the other position he holds is very good, so Solar can't just run across the map and be like, hey, you've got 40 supply in medevacs, let's punish that. Because there's not an easy way for Solar to get across to the other side of the map, so it is a precarious position that Q is in. But it's working for him for now. Like I say, holding his middle area is nice. I guess if, as long as Q is paying attention, the moment he notices Solar going fully across the map, he could just then still get that drop off and get something done with it. Is once again evacuating Marines up into those medevacs, something we see time and time again, and just doing a very good job of making the most out of that as well. Marines run through again, a bit of creep spread and extractor going down. Tank firing up a storm, and these queens taking some damage. Our Marines look like running out down to the south, and the Banelin already gets picked off. A few Lings going down. We do find a way to drop. It's not on the main, it's not on that right base, it's on the pocket expand. That's actually huge, a little triangle base drop. is the perfect answer to what Kira had an issue with, which is getting this group of units unloaded safely. Finds it while he's attacking the bottom left. So Solar couldn't move as quickly to deny it happening either. And it's finding a lot of the damage. He will finish off the Hydra Den too. Kira loses a lot of his units on the map and in this drop during this time. And Solar will take a supply lead for a little while. Kira has the money to rebuild, but to rebuild slowly as a Terran player. Maybe this invites Solar to perhaps start being aggressive on the map, but Neo-Humanity is a tough map to be aggressive on. This forward base is just going to be so choked up, so difficult to ever reach. It means the Terran can really sit on 5 bases before you really have a good place to attack into as the Zerg. It's definitely a complication in this overall setup. Lings and Banes coming through. A couple Marauders still picking their way through those Banelings. A couple Corruptors hanging out overhead. Getting a bit of a knockdown there. Just getting another siege tank setting up on the left-hand side. Broodlords picking their way through. The Lings would love to kind of continue in. Banes and our Hydras will continue in as well. My way onto this orbital command, so it's going to start taking quite a bit of damage. We'll continue to press forward. Next orbital taking some damage too. Our Lings, Banes over on that right side. Here we go. Just going to see the Ling Bane force shoving its way in with the Broodlord to support it. Is Solar going to have enough to really just bust through this army of Kua? I mean, he made some good progress, but Kira is starting to hold, and he's got a Viking to chase these Broods down. The problem is for Solar, if you retreat, you're going to lose every single Broodlord in the process. That's going to be extremely expensive, and now that's where his supply is absolutely just disappearing. This is a very committed push forward from Solar because of the fact the Broods can't retreat, and he loses a ton of them, if not all of them. And that's pretty much why he loses out so heavily on supply, because he just didn't have units he could get out of what turned into a very bad fight. We've seen a couple of tanks continue to siege up. Lings continue to go down. The counter-attack here from that is going to be way too strong. And that is going to be GG's. Kua ties it 1-1 in this best of 3 final we've got going on today. One more map coming up between these. Take day 1 off, come in and try and do it on day 2. So yeah, I mean, we'll see who signs up tomorrow. Should be interesting, man. As in the bottom left corner, our red Terran is going to be Kua. Up against in the top right, our blue Zerg is Solar. Oh, done some really good games after the qualifying matches. Again, thanks to OSC for giving us the prize pool for this qualifier to allow us to have the semi-finals and the finals played out. Would please let Abyon try once more? Well, everyone can try out tomorrow as well. Nothing stops anyone from trying in every qualifier. Does anyone else feel that TVP is an uphill struggle? Terran has to spread and step in micro hard, and Zerg hatch Zerg and morph Banes and A-move. Yeah, I do think it's an uphill struggle when the Protoss player starts just hatching Zergs in the middle of the Terran versus Protoss match. It's pretty rough. But does anyone else actually feel as though ZvP is a real struggle? Because Zerg has to spread creep and, you know, counterattack and run by and scout and not be caught off guard and defend Liberators and Banshees. Meanwhile, the Terran just makes Marines and A-clicks in 2 different places. Just don't know if we can find balance in these matchups, guys. It just always feels like the race that I'm not playing has it so easy. Thanks for the reminder to never look at Twitch chat and SCT stream. See, I'm doing it for you. I'm saving your eyes from having to read it by reading it out for you, so at least we can all enjoy the pain together as like a group. You know? It's going to be, obviously, Reaper doing a good job denying this third base for a little while. Just going to have this extractor, cancels, rebuilds. Now, drone actually has to escape away, so not a great start, having a massive delay on your hatchery. And he obviously builds a hatch up to the top side instead, but you didn't want that base, you wanted the forward one, so maybe that gives the Terran some opportunities to get into some good positions over there a bit further down the line. And it goes down, Reaper just gets into the main base. It's going to grab a kill, so not bad. It is going to pay for it with its life, right? No! Reapers are so disgusting, man. How many times have you seen Reapers do crazy getaways today? It's definitely been the day of the Reaper. Reapers have been pretty great at escaping out a few times over. Let's see, our command center is about to finish up. That can morph into an orbital. A couple of Hellions, the Viking, all of this on the way out. It's going to be seeing our natural setup over here. So far, so good as a couple Hellions and the Reaper continue through. Viking will be going after this Overlord, by the way, so begins to go for this. A couple Marines will strike, and Overlord will go down. Marines continue to gather in the center, just going to be seeing our Hellions and the Liberator producing. Means that Kua has got those harassing opportunities. He's going to have the Liberator that can jump between different bases. We're going to have Kua with the opportunity to run Hellions in different places as well. As the Viking is able to grab the Overlord. It's already just clearing out some vision as well. And again, Kua really got ahead early last time around as well, right? He put himself in a good position early, got some good damage done. Just put himself into that leading point, leading posture, and was able to play it out nicely. That's going to be a big question mark of whether we can do the same this time around. And we'll move up the right. Again, Hellions just poking on the left. If they could get rid of some creep, obviously great. But, yeah, again, I believe one creep tumor there, then just backing it up, going elsewhere. So far, the Liberator not going to find much. Finds one more active tumor, though. And the 4 additional racks behind this to start really powering into our mid-game bio army. This lab actually does get in. A couple of drones before it gets pushed back by the Spore. Lots of space behind this main for this Lib to move around and then to kind of redirect itself in as well. So, going to come in for a similar position again, just keeping out of range of that Spore for a couple moments. Only one drone goes down, wasn't in reach of the other patches, so only so much you could do there. When the Spore set up and the Liberator gets pushed away over to the corner. Viking will get rid of the Overlord, so that will go down, and that's actually a supply block now from Solar, meaning that he's going to have a little bit of a tough time building up for a little while. I mean, the kind of thing that just slows you down a little bit, that can have that knock-on effect, perhaps. And it's happening just as you're coming across the map with some dropships as Kira as well. It's just the worst time to not be able to build up a set of defensive units if that's what you feel like you may need, so it's obviously a little rough. Marines move through, and already some creep tumors going down. Our continued step forward is going to be continuing in, and there's going to be a couple of things going down. These queens still taking some damage. The Marines continue to do pretty well here. That's where that kind of early damage being done allows you to do even more. You can see Q again quite ahead on the supplies. No baneling speed because, again, we prioritized those melee upgrades. It's exactly what happened in Game 1. Allowed Q to take a lead there. Wasn't able to close it out in the end, but Again, it's these early games that keep going in Q's favor, and as he dives into the main base, that's more damage to be done. He's rallying units through the center of the map as well, so they're going to reinforce very shortly, and it feels like this is going all very well for Q. Let's see if he can, or how well he can continue through. These Widowmines going on the Queens actually will get a double kill. I was going to say Marines can follow up with the damage needed to actually confirm the kills, but both of them got the splash. Mines helping Mines out. Target fire on these Banelings, only gets one of them. It's one of those scenarios where if you target all the Banes, you stand and fight. And you probably could have done very well, as that should be the last time we see the Banes walking around without the Baneling speed this game. Obviously with Baneling speed about to finish, that will be a massive aid in terms of defending. What else is great, though, is that these Widowmines never got cleaned out, which means that they are going to have a chance to fight again. Target fired them onto the Baneling, so as you turn around, you don't get out of reach. Every Baneling died. A ton of the Zerglings died. This army of Solar getting wiped out. Our Marines come through, chasing the Queen. Some Lings here, some Banelings here, rolling on forward. Our Marines load up, the Marines pull away. And again, value continues to be found time after time as Q just really finds a good position and just rallies behind it. Not giving this up for anything just yet. Marines will continue to push on through. A couple of Crypt Tumors going down. Some of these Queens already falling now. Marines load back into Medivacs. And we'll pull away over to the right-hand side. A group of Medivacs, 2 of them head to the northern side as well. Aiming to push into that 12 o'clock location. First mine already burrows up, make it a couple. And now it begins the split pushing, right? That Solar is going to have a really tough time dealing with the way that this game has gone up until now. With the fact that Q has just been so good at being aggressive, and yeah, this is painful. He actually just lost his Banelings to the Widowmine, so all of a sudden you've got to commit a lot more to defend over here. Suddenly you don't really have defense elsewhere. Q again just having Widowmines connecting all of the time. I almost thought he'd retargeted that one onto a group of Banelings, but he didn't. And as he runs in here, this is at least Solar splitting well enough to not allow that position to be broken through. Widowmines coming through, Banelings looking to try and jump onto some of these mines. Mines actually survive, and the Ling's getting massacred, by the way, as 2-2 finishes for the Terran. Where are the Banelings? Not available. They are all morphing in. Here's a few of them actually showing up. We cancelled all those Banelings just to try and help this fight. Once they unload and just go again, I feel like we've just cancelled the Banelings. Now there's going to be basically none on the map. There's 10 Banes remaining. And again, we're split pushing. There just can't possibly be Banes to defend both positions. Widowmine's going to just die before it comes online. It's a good one for Solar, at least to get rid of that. Anytime a mine fires twice, just efficiency the Terran is not really meant to be able to get to. As our Bio keeps pushing up, the Zerglings getting blasted down. Another Baneling getting taken down as well. Bio turns to keep on fighting. Another Widowmine shot, another Hydra falls. Drones going down, obviously Kira just attacking multiple places. Damage is adding up, as I don't believe at this point we're really even clearing up properly as Solar. The Marines went out underneath those Medivacs, and Solar types out game. Kira is going to get the job done. Pretty epic series between these two to wrap us up here. And Kira is going to find himself a 2-1 victory. Some extra prize money for him today.